I may be way off on that. That's just my impression of it, though. But getting back to the thing on religion, the thing about theology I grew up with, and I think it's probable that throughout time people's view of their faith has been different than it has been now, but in the last, oh, let's say, 50 to 100 to maybe even 200 years, Christianity in the West has had a certain take on um, its roots, its origins, and what it means. And what I'd like to suggest is the possibility that the Abrahamic faiths, and going way back to, like, the Old Testament, the Jewish faith before Christianity had even been, was even a rumor. Long before that, you have this faith that, these covenants, the idea of original sin, Adam sinned and so everyone's fallen. Um, and I think there's two distinct ways of looking at that religion. One of them is a very kind of mouse in the maze kind of way of looking at it, and I think it's almost a modern traditional way of looking at it, and maybe it's always been this way, of seeing these rules and these stories as examples of, like, cause and effect. But then the other way of looking at it is one of almost fatalism, and that is to say that, let's take the Garden of Eden. Everything's perfect, everything's fine, except it's not. Even from its inception, it's not right. The sins of the father, well, the ultimate father in the Abrahamic faiths would be God the Father. Well, his creation, he claimed, was perfect. But a perfect creation doesn't disintegrate. It's kind of like a perpetual motion machine that requires batteries. Perfect system would not implode, but this one did. This one did. And everyone from that is now fallen. And there's constant maintenance required to keep the system running. In effect, both the original man in the story and God are all part of a continuum of a broken system. The sins of the father. This is a different way of looking at it, but I think it may be, I don't know that the original authors, they probably didn't mean it this way, but it's a fatalistic story of the breakdown of systems and how nothing, that you're born into a world that is what it is, and you're subject to it. And that, I think, is more revelatory about the statement, the sins of the father, than the other theological way of looking at it. That is to say, it subverts the notion that you're born bad as much as that you're born into a bad system. That the system eventually will corrupt you. That against your best efforts, you will be forced into decisions in your life that have no happy outcome. It's like an unconscious sort of poem from antiquity. In a way, they really did kind of hone in on exactly what even in the modern era we all face, and that is that there's a broken system that we have inherited. I don't know what else to say about it right now, but it was just something that occurred to me, and I thought it might be interesting for some of you who wanted to bother listening to this long video. So anyway, I thank you for your attention, and if anything else occurs to me, I'll post more of this drivel. But anyway, to your health. Hope you're well.